In early spring 1964, giant earth-moving machines start excavation of what is destined to be the biggest and best teepee an Indian brave ever called home. The site is a 62-acre reservation 1 mile southeast of Georgia's gold-plated Capitol Dome in Atlanta. The eventual completion here of a modern coliseum at a cost of some $18 million will mark two tremendous achievements for Atlanta and the Southeast. First, the completion in only 51 weeks of a stadium the equal of any in professional sports. And second, the fielding of the first Major League Baseball team in this part of the country. The acquisition of the National League Braves to play in Atlanta is a real baseball story, as exciting as any you'll find. Atlanta's push to bring Major League Baseball to the Southeast had strong local support. A team of the city's leaders, with Mayor Ivan Allen in the leadoff position and backed up by banker Mills Lane and businessman Arthur Montgomery, had started scouting for a team in 1963. Several teams were considered. Rumored negotiations gave rise to speculation about which team it would be. But when the smoke cleared, it was the Braves. Work on Atlanta Stadium never slackens. The original budget is sweetened by some $700,000 for extra rush overtime work. And in the 51 weeks asked for, the stadium is delivered. On April 9th, 1965, a baseball-hungry crowd of 6,000 people mobs Atlanta Airport to welcome the Braves for a 3-game exhibition series with Detroit's Tigers. And they're led by the mayor of the town. Technicalities have come up that will block the Braves' move in 65. They won't be calling Atlanta home until the 66 season. But the fans react in grand style. We've waited this long, they say. Another year won't matter. The reception is tremendous. It feels like World Series time. The mayor greets Braves officials Bartholomew and McHale and team captain Matthews. Club manager Bragan gets a tremendous reception from the fans. And Hank Aaron receives the key to the city on behalf of the team. The band, the fans, the team, and the speeches. Atlanta welcomes a new era of big-time sports in the Southeast. The 10-minute motorcade into the city makes a point. Atlanta's Braves will be a regional home team. Atlanta Stadium is just minutes from her jet air terminal. And being a scant 200 yards from the largest interchange of interstate highways in the region, makes home games within easy reach of fans in 4 states. $60,000 fans line the streets, clamoring, cheering, and hounding the stars for autographs. For many of the players and coaches, it's like coming home. Eddie Matthews, as the 18-year-old star of the 1950 Atlanta Crackers, once rattled the outfield boards of old Ponce de Leon Ballpark. And Dixie Walker, a former manager of the Crackers and a native of Birmingham. Whitlow Wyatt, another Cracker manager. Mac Jones, center fielder and Atlanta native. And Coach JoJo White from College Park, Georgia. It's still early April and the season hasn't begun, but baseball fever has hit the city. Even though the business affairs of downtown Atlanta have come to an abrupt halt with the Braves' arrival, work on the field and in the stands at Atlanta Stadium doesn't slacken. All available help is thrown into the fray as the condition of the playing field quickly shapes up. The new outfield sod is painted green. The final touch-up goes on everywhere. Even though game time isn't far away, nobody quits. The magnificent 51-week effort goes right to the wire. It's obvious the stadium won't have its final polish for this first Braves game, but it shows what's ahead. The new look in baseball, the big park, and the fast game. The fans start arriving in mid-afternoon, and at 5:30, the 40 gates to Atlanta's new home of the Braves swing open. 38,000 fans troop inside to watch baseball and to satisfy their curiosity. They're anxious for a first look at these Braves they've heard so much about. And for most fans, it's a first look at this new stadium as well. The first pitcher to take the mound in Atlanta's new ballpark is a fellow named Carl Sanders, left-handed and wild as a hare. The batter is Ivan Allen, who finds one he can reach and drills it into right field. Sanders, in the offseason, is governor of Georgia. Allen is Atlanta's mayor. The Braves board chairman, Bartholomew, makes a brief appearance, followed by a presentation of the Braves by sportscaster Mel Allen. Individually and as a team, the Braves receive a real hometown welcome. That is a real fan. He's one of over 100,000 to witness this three-game weekend series between the Braves and Detroit. They come by bus, by car, by cab, and by foot to help initiate the team and the stadium. And what a stadium. Every seat with a clear view of the entire field. No poles, no pillars, just fun. This arena was built with every thought devoted to the comfort of the fan. The several seating levels are connected by access ramps that enable him to get to his seat in just minutes after parking his car. And the 31 concession stands make sure he's well fed while he's there. Not only can the fan relax in his own individual seat in complete comfort, he can bring 50,000 or so friends with him to see the Braves. And with these Braves, Atlanta and the Southeast will get an inside look at the greatness of Major League Baseball, with the possible added bonus of hosting a World Series in October. The club manager and his coaches are openly optimistic. Here's manager Bobby Bragan, aggressive and with a lot of spirit on the field. Ken Silvestri, Braves bullpen and catching coach. JoJo White, third base coach, a native of Atlanta. Whitlow Wyatt, pitching coach and former Cracker manager from Buchanan, Georgia. Dixie Walker, batting coach, manager of the 1950 championship Crackers. These six men set a new Major League record last year, as each one hit over 20 home runs during the season, a total of 166. That's a lot of muscle. Matthews and Aaron set another record, most home runs as career teammates. Mac Jones, 31 home runs. Joe Torre, catcher and quarterback of the Brave squad, hit 27. Felipe Alou, outfielder, 23 homers. Gene Oliver, catcher and first base, 21. Hammer and Hank Aaron, one of that record-setting sextet, is called a superb fielder, a good runner, and one of the most and third baseman for the Braves, is the oldest man in the starting lineup at 34, and a longtime favorite of Atlanta fans. Matthews was a popular hero when he hit 32 home runs with Dixie Walker's Crackers when they won the pennant in 1950. He was 18 years old, and Atlanta fans have followed his career ever since. Elected to serve as captain of the Brave squad by his fellow players, Matthews had a part in setting or tying 8 different records during the 65 season. Matthews is a fixture at third base. He's played more games and had more fielding chances there than any other player in National League history. Mac Jones, until 1965, could have been elected the Braves' most variable player. His career was like a yo-yo, up for a while, then back to the minors. But when the chips were down, the Braves really needed the long ball and the strong outfield defense. Mac Jones arrived. Manager Bobby Bragan called his arrival one of the biggest boosts the Braves got all season. Jones has become a genuine favorite with the fans in center field. Watch him steal this outfield fly. Joe Torre, at age 25, is on his way to becoming one of baseball's all-time greats. He hit 27 home runs during the '65 season with a solid .291 average. Like many of the young Braves, Torre is a dangerous man at bat with a good eye and easily capable of the long ball. New York's amazing Mets offered Braves management an astounding $500,000 to part with the big man. Joe Torre's regular spot in the field is catching. But because of a hole at first last season, he spent a good bit of his defensive time there. The Braves' acquisition of first sacker Lee Thomas late in the '65 trading period, however, will move Torre back to his backstop position in '66. Another of the bustling Braves to hit over 20 home runs in '65 was first baseman outfielder Felipe Alou with 23. The former medical school student from Santo Domingo is a strong hitter and displays tremendous speed in the field and on the base paths. Alou should be a key factor in what manager Bragan describes as a faster brand of baseball in the upcoming season. Bunt, hit and run, and squeeze the life out of the opposition. Alou's late season injury severely handicapped the Braves as they scrambled for position in the pennant race last year. Here's Gene Oliver, the sixth of the Braves batsmen to hit over 20 home runs. He hit number 19 against Sandy Koufax of the Dodgers and number 20 off Juan Marichal of the Giants. He doesn't pick on easy ones. Last season, Oliver spent most of his time behind the plate while Torre helped fill the gap at first. He finished up with a very respectable .270 average. For a big man, he's surprisingly fast and sure on his feet. Oliver is a former fullback for Northwestern University. The pitcher's mound could hold the key to Brave success in '66. And top man in the starting pitching department is Tony Cloninger of Iron Station, North Carolina. Here, the Cloninger touch proves to be too much for Willie Mays. Last year, Cloninger became the Braves' first 24-game winner in 17 years. Relying basically on a humming fastball, Cloninger added a slow curve and a changeup and rang up 210 strikeouts. He could well be the top starting pitcher in the major leagues this year. Along with Cloninger in the starting rotation on the mound is curveballing southpaw Wade Blasingame. This 22-year-old is a big leaguer through and through, chalking up 16 wins last season. Blasingame gave the club badly needed pitching support when Denny LeMaster developed serious arm trouble. Blasingame should be even better this year. The batting contingent requires a strong bench for sticky situations, so the starting pitcher must rely on the man in the bullpen, the relief specialist when the need arises, because there are those days. The Braves bullpen bunch is proving itself to be one of the most dependable in the game. Here, Phil Niekro, 27-year-old right-hander, takes the mound to save a game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Even though you'll seldom see 20 victories credited to a relief pitcher at the end of a season, his importance to the team is like collision insurance on the expressway. He is frequently the only man who can pull the plug on the other team's rally, as Niekro has just demonstrated against the Pirates. Another sparkling reliever, Billy O'Dell, came on in late innings in 62 games last year. O'Dell compiled the best earned run average on the team. Hank Fisher, a 25-year-old starting right-hander, could win as many as anybody on the team this season. And Clay Carroll, at 24, has already made his debut in Atlanta Stadium, appearing in a starting role during the Braves-Tigers exhibitions during early '65. Woody Woodward, like most of the Braves, is a youngster at 24. He had a tremendous pair of shoes to fill at shortstop when Dennis Menke was knocked out due to an injured knee early in the season last year. But the flashy infielder from Florida State University came through in strong style as a dependable hitter and a good man with the glove. Here's Frank Bowling, who's been a regular at second base in the Braves infield since 1961. Bowling came back from a bad slump in '64 to be a mainstay in the crucial second base slot this past year. Rico Carty's '65 season, his sophomore year in the big leagues, was a study in frustration. He had been sensational in his rookie year in 1964, copying second-place batting honors for the entire league. But an untimely injury during spring training kept the hard-hitting Dominican from reaching near his potential in '65. And his injury was one reason the Braves finished in 5th place last October rather than 1st. Yes, the Braves will all be there, and all-time greats from other teams as well, like Sandy Koufax of the Dodgers. Koufax was elected Athlete of the Year by the country sports writers in 1965. Willie Mays of the Giants, whose dependably steady performance, great power at the plate, and breadbasket catches in the outfield have made him a favorite of fans from New York City to San Francisco. Mays, born in Westfield, Alabama, poked a tremendous total of 52 home runs in '65 and is one of the Giants' all-time top 10 hitters. Also from the Giants, considered by the players as one of the best right-handers in the big leagues, Juan Marichal. Jim Hart smacks one over Mac Jones' head and into the center field stands in this late-season Giants-Braves game. Hart, 25-year-old infielder and a strong competitor, hails from Lenore City, North Carolina. And with his ability to poke that long ball, he gets pretty careful handling from opposing pitchers. This is the Giants' Bob Shaw, a veteran of quite a few major league campaigns. Shown here in action for the St. Louis Cardinals a short time before being traded is shortstop Dick Groat. The one-time batting champ for the National League tries to beat one out against the Cincinnati infield here, but not quite. Here is Mike Shannon of the Cardinal outfield. Shannon is a former Cracker, as are three of his teammates, Buchek, Gagliano, and McCarver. This is Curt Flood, smallest man in the Cards outfield, but big as any man when he stands at the plate. Flood streaks to second here on the hit and run against Cincinnati and moves along to third as a bonus because of defensive interference. Roberto Clemente of the Pirates and league batting champ singles against the Braves. Followed by teammate Bill Mazeroski, Pirates second baseman. Chicago's Ernie Banks, veteran infielder for the Cubs. And young outfield star Billy Williams, who pulls one into the stands against the Giants here, are a couple of the stars who will be representing the Windy City against Atlanta's Braves this year. Williams is another Alabaman, hailing from Mobile. Joe Morgan, hustling second sacker for the fledgling Houston Astros, is another of the National League's youngsters with tremendous talent. This is Sammy Ellis, young but impressive right-handed delivery man for the Cincinnati Reds. And Joey Jay, husky right-handed starting pitcher who is one of the Reds' mainstays on the mound. Here's scrappy infielder Pete Rose, fifth leading hitter in the league with a smart .315 average and a fine glove man, too. Joe Nuxall, 37-year-old veteran and a southpaw, is one of the most experienced men in the Reds pitching corps. Here's Cincinnati's Darren Johnson, who led the league in RBIs in '65. always a dangerous man at the plate, slams one out of the park. This Memphis, Tennessee native is also one of the league's best defensive men in his position in the outfield. And right on the heels of Pinson's round tripper, outfielder Tommy Harper knocks one out of the park. Harper is from Louisiana. No commentary on the National League or on baseball generally would be complete without a look at Yogi Berra and New York's Amazing Mets. One of the two newest teams in the league, the Mets haven't exactly overwhelmed anybody, but you never can tell. With Berra keeping up his steady stream of chatter, here he practices on Gene Oliver. With the younger Mets getting more experience and stability, and with a little more here and a little more there, all this and a little bit of luck, the Mets could do it again. These stars and others from all 10 great teams in the National League will play for Atlanta and Southeastern fans all summer long. And it promises to be a terrific summer for baseball and its fans. Manager Bobby Bregan sees a trend developing in today's game. An emphasis on running, going for the short ball in the tight spots, and bunting with a squeeze play brought out of mothballs. Bregan sees the 66 Atlanta Braves playing this kind of baseball, and he sees the fans loving it. These Braves are young, many still in their early 20s, but still with the experience-bred moxie of veterans. They're strong with more men capable of the long ball than any other team in baseball. And potentially, their pitching is the best. According to the experts, it could be any one of 6 teams in the National League this year. The Braves, maybe, or the Dodgers again, or the Giants, Cardinals, Reds, or Pirates. And it could be all 6 of them right down to the wire. So at last, the Southeastern baseball fan has a Major League home team. He can attend home games in person or tune in on the Braves radio and television network. Either way, he'll have a ball. So come on out, fans. Here come the Braves.